Hey guys, this is Pat Jenkins of On the Hill Media and voice of Fayetteville High Bulldogs Athletics. Make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's On the Hill Media. Make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. As we say, let's get it. And welcome here live. We're at Harmon Field. It's the Casey Dick Show. We have moved it today, so we will be at CMAX. It is brought to you by CMAX Southern Kitchen. Coach, a hard game, kind of like a trap game with Northside last week, heading into this big one. I mean, how do you think the team responded to that?
I thought they played really well. Obviously, on offense or on defense and special teams, we what I felt like dominated the football game in a lot of areas. Run game, we knew kind of going into the game what to expect from their quarterback situation with their quarterback being out. And I was very proud of the way that those kids responded, obviously, on defense and playing the way that they did. Special teams was a big night for us. I think we had 3 block kicks, one of those for a touchdown, a kickoff return for a touchdown. So it was awesome to see, that stuff obviously starting to come together, put a really nice plan for that coming together this week. And then we did some good things offensively. It's just the consistency part that we've got to continue to build on with Cruz, and obviously making his first start last week gave us a different defense from what they had shown all year. He's learning and growing and will be better because of it as well.
A couple guys we're going to have on the show today. I want to start off with Kaleb Johnson when you talk about that kickoff return. The junior, all he did was just have himself a night. Talk about, Kaleb and how he's, developed from his sophomore to now his junior season.
Well, I think number one is he's gotten a lot stronger, and I think he understands, what we're doing back there a little bit better. But, he's a very explosive runner. We joke with him all the time. He's a little bit lower to the ground than most people, but does an unbelievable job of running through contact and having yards after the catch or whatever we're able to do. And he's very versatile. We can split him out. He's great in the screen game. He's obviously great in special teams games. So he's a really big contributor to us in a lot of different ways other than just playing running back. And he's a great kid, great leader, kind of the silent guy that just shows up and works every day and navigates the way through there. But, kids really I gravitate towards him. He's a great kid and fun to be around for sure.
A guy I think that, doesn't get enough credit but is really a cornerstone of that defense, Reid Slankard. I mean, talk about him as he'll be joining us on the show as well.
Just a blue-collar kid, hard worker, shows up every day, does exactly what you ask him to do. You know what you're going to get from Reid. You're going to get 110% effort. He's going to do all the little things that you ask him to do, and it shows up on film, and it shows up, every Friday. He plays with tremendous effort, knows his assignment, gets lined up before the snap. Just proud of the way that he's played, obviously, the first really half of the year, and how he's developed into who he is and what we're asking him to do. And, he's able to play a lot of different positions for us. And, to the naked eye, everybody doesn't really understand – he's normally on one side, but we're asking him to do a lot of different things because he can handle it. He can get people lined up for us, obviously. But, the last and final piece there is him going to be able to execute what we're asking him to do, and he does that as well.
Well, we're about to meet those two young gentlemen here on the Casey Dick Show. We'll be back. You're watching the Casey Dick Show on the Hill Media TV. Hey guys, this is Pat Jenkins of On the Hill Media and voice of Fayetteville High Bulldogs Athletics. Make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's On the Hill Media. Make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. As we say, let's get it. And welcome back here live at Harmon Field on the campus of Fayetteville High School for today's Casey Dick Show. As we had to move locations, Coach had some things that we had to correct, but we got it worked out, and we're here joined now on the show by senior linebacker, my man, Reid Slankard. What's up, buddy?
Yes, sir. Having a good time. Let's go.
Reid, when you look at your senior year, and when you look at the whole totality of your sophomore to senior year, how have you seen your game grow?
Well, sophomore year, I just felt like I knew the defense, but I didn't really have any experience to go out there and do it. And it was all about me gaining weight and getting bigger. I was tall, lanky, just skinny kid. Couldn't really do anything on Friday nights because I didn't have that weight. But now on Friday nights, being a senior, I went from 165 pounds to 195 pounds. It's a big jump. So I don't know. Everything got faster, and me playing JV really helped a lot too.
I know when we talk about the defense, I've had several of your linebacker teammates on Dax, Rhett, and those guys. And the one thing that they say about Reid Slankard is one speed. Talk about just that mentality because, as a junior, you were that same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's all just about going hard. I'm only going to get, one of these all for the rest of my life. So, there's no reason to not go out there and try as hard as I can. I got six more games guaranteed for the rest of my life as a high school kid. So, I don't understand why you don't go out there and try as hard as you can.
Now, you guys, this senior class has a distinction that they've had to come in after the state runner-up season and then having to come into their senior year off of a state championship undefeated season. How do you think that's helped this senior class, even in particular this year?
I think it gave us a lot of confidence coming in. Hey, we can do this. We can go the distance. We went 13-0 last year. This is the same guys that went 13-0 last year, so I feel like it gives us that confidence. Hey, we can go out there and do this again, and we have all the talent to go out there and do it again, and I feel like we can just go do it now.
When you talk about that linebacker room, take me inside that room, and you're the coach. Explain, give me the scouting report on what each and every player brings.
I think Rhett, he just lines us up. He's probably the smartest guy I've ever played with. He's just I can always go to him and be like, hey, what do I do here? Really physical guy. Really strong guy. He can just he knows what to do. Dax, I feel like he's also the same way. He can go out there. I feel like if the ball's run to him, I feel like I know he's going to make a tackle. He's always going to be good. He's always going to be there. Luke Robley, insanely fast. That guy's insanely fast. I watch him run. I'm like, yeah, that's out of this world. Running back out of the backfield.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, he's going to get there. He's going to make the play. Just overall, really smart group of guys, and I feel like we have a good bond there.
Coach Bowerman played here, was an all-state linebacker. It just seems like here since he's been the coach, linebacker after linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about how special that is to have a coach that's really done what you've done in years past on this football
I feel
field.
like he's a really good coach, but because he cares about all the little details. If you're a step wrong here, if you're a step wrong there, if your hands aren't right here, then he's going to let you know about it. He's a really good coach about that stuff, and I feel like those little details show up on Friday night and really – let all our linebackers do well and just play a great game out there.
When you look at your career, is there any play or plays that stand out to this point? If so, what games?
I think watching Rhett on this big west stop down here on the I remember watching that and be like, all right, then Rhett, good play. And then Texas High, I feel like all the linebackers played really well. Broken Arrow, multiple stops. We got the ball on their 40 and just they were – all the odds weren't really on our favor there, and we all stepped up, made a stop, had a couple tackle for losses, and really just held them to a good game there.
Now, what I like to ask, and I've asked most of the seniors then, you guys are coming behind a class that went 30-7, went to 2 state championships. Mm-hmm. You guys have only lost, I believe, now 5 games. How much of a motivation is that as a senior class to go out with a better number than the guys that come before you?
It really helps. It helps us. It puts a little pressure on us, but I think pressure is also a good thing. Lets us know, hey, this is the standard, and we need to go by the standard, and standard's a big thing here. So knowing that, hey, we've always been good, and we need to continue to be good, it's just a good standard to go by.
What's it like to have DC's coordinators, Britt and Davis, leading this defense?
It's insane. The work they put in, the scouting report every week, it's something. It's hard work that I admire to be when I'm older. It's the scouting report, I think, was 40 pages long. Like we have quizzes every week. Linebackers do. They know the ins and outs. Like they study insane amount of film. Wake up on Saturday mornings just after Friday night and go watch a ton of film. It's insane.
Now we're gonna have another one of your teammates on, junior running back Kaleb Johnson. Describe what it's like to have to go against number 2.
Kaleb, I remember last year as a sophomore, we were running good on good on a Tuesday practice. He came out of the backfield, and whoa, I remember hitting him head on head, and I was like, all right, he's going to be good. And then just watching him last year, state championship game, like everything, I was like, yeah, this kid's going to be good. And then watching him out there in spring, having to face him every day. He's one of the running backs that I'm like, whoa, if I could tackle him, I could tackle a lot of things.
Talking with Reid Slankard, senior linebacker here on the KC Dick Show. Reid, what's the uniqueness about being a Fayetteville Bulldog?
I think it's just the brotherhood we have here. A lot of people look in and say, hey, these kids are spoiled, Fayetteville kids. Like, hey, they have a lot handed to them, and I don't think that's the case. We work hard. We are really bonded together. I feel like we're just a big group of guys just want to go play football, and that shows on Friday nights.
Now, 23, when I come to the game here at Harmon Field or wherever it is the remainder part of this season, I get popcorn and a drink. I'm at the top bleacher, ball's kicked off. What type of football player will I see in Mr. Reid Slankard?
You'll see a kid just out there having fun. Like, I just want to have fun out there. I'm going to go 110% effort. I'm going to try to lead my guys into a good game. I'm just going to try out there, have fun, make some plays, and just, I don't know, have a good time.
Now, you have some pretty supportive parents. I mean, I get a chance to speak with them at each and every game. I mean,
Yes,
how
sir.
special is that to have such supportive people in your corner?
I can't describe enough about them. They're great parents. I think they missed, my mom maybe missed one game in the past every football game I've ever played. Like, it's insane. Knowing that they send me texts before every game, they put stuff in my locker, knowing that they're there before every game really helps me out. And there's like a that's why I do it kind of situation. I write it on like my wrist tape every game. That's why I do it. I go out there and I'm like, hey, this is the people I do it for. I mean, they're just really supportive parents. I love them. If they're watching this, hey. They're just the best. Like, I couldn't ask any more of them.
Now, we should have the belt here, but I want you to explain, how motivational is that to have the new belt sponsored by C-Max, the defensive belt?
It's a cool thing. I've never seen it done before in high school sports, and it's just a little drip factor. You gotta let them know. Like, if you have that, you're the guy. It'll let you know, like, hey, you're the guy. Like, I'm the guy of the defense. It's just a cool thing to have. Never seen it done before.
Now, you guys got a big one coming up. You're versus that team up north.
Yep.
Big-time rivalry game. You kind of had the better part, but they got you up in Bentonville 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at this team, Reid, offensively, what are you guys going to have to do defensively?
I think we just got to shut down the run, as they usually do. They always have a good run game. They have a good tight end up there. He's the better of the teams we've seen. I think we just got to go out there and do what we usually do. We always have a good defense. We always have a good plan. We'll go out there and do what we do, and we'll stop them.
When people think of this 2024 Fayetteville defense, if they come out or they watch you throughout our stream on the Hill Media, what's that one word when that ball game is done that you want people to say about the Bulldog defense?
Grittiness or toughness. Like, I want them to know, like, there was a battle and we were tough about it. Like, hey, we went out there and fought, and we did everything we could to come out with the W there.
You just heard it from my guy, Senior Reid Slankard, here on the KC Dick Show.
Here we go.
Reid, we'll look forward to Friday. Hey, let's
Thank
go
you.
get him.
Let's
And,
go get
hey,
him.
we got much, much more. It's the KC Dick Show on the Hill Media TV.
Here we go.
Hey, guys, this is Pat Jenkins of On the Hill Media and voice of Fayetteville High Bulldogs Athletics. Make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's On the Hill Media. Make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. As we say, let's get it. Because I had him on last year. And welcome back here live at Harmon Field on the campus of Fayetteville High School. It's the KC Dick Show, brought to you by C-Max Southern Kitchen. Lindsay and Associates and First Choice Protection Systems, and I'm joined now by this junior. All he did Friday night was had a 90-plus yard kickoff return, over 40-yard touchdown run, and just made plays, and he's going to continue to do that. I'm joined now by junior Kaleb Johnson. What's up, KJ?
What's up, man?
How does it feel, KJ, to kind of have a more defined role than what you had as a sophomore, and where have you seen your development?
Like my speeds definitely got bigger. Definitely got bigger in the weight room, stronger. Just playing a bigger role, going out there, outworking everybody that comes my way, and just do what I do.
Having a guy like Christian Setzer, senior last year, I mean, how much did you learn from Christian that prepared you kind of to be take more of the leadership role in the backfield?
A lot of patience, making sure you follow your old line. Don't try to do too much. Make sure you have good ball security. He also taught a little bit about kickoff return, catching the ball first, then taking off, following your blockers. And I've also known Christian for a while, since like maybe 3rd, 4th grade. So.
All right, KJ, take me through it. I want you to just take me through that play, that 90-plus yard kickoff return. What did you see, and when did you know that it was 88 and out the gate?
So when I'm back there ready to catch it, I see his like kick kind of close to the sideline. I catch it. I see north side running straight to me. So I'm like, the right side's wide open. So I take off to the right, got my blockers in front of me, and I'm just gone to the crib.
You and Christian battled. We had Christian on last week here on the show, and he said he had spoke to your mom, and you guys, she had described you as thunder and lightning. I mean, talk about how big is and how much did you like having that duo, another guy back in the backfield?
It's good, like not having to do every play on your own and stuff. So like iron sharpens iron, and me and Christian like have 2 different run styles, both power backs, both speed backs. We could do a lot of things to have defenses struggling to bring us both down.
Now, talk about mom and dad. And you have a brother on the team. I mean, he just went out and got an interception. Is that like a steady competition on Fridays to see who can make the bigger plays so you talk about it at the house?
We sometimes talk about like it's so like if I was to get tackled for a loss, he'll bring that up to me. And like if he was to drop a pick or anything. But yeah, him getting that pick, I always cheer him on anytime after every game. He always cheers me on anytime after every game, during the game. And my parents both push us to the hardest. You know, he still plays basketball and football.
Right.
Basketball is still like his #1 priority, but you know.
How'd you get him on the football field?
So me, my mom, maybe Coach Britt, Coach Dick.
Just maybe.
Yeah, we all talked to him about it and stuff because he wanted to play wide receiver. But me personally, I think he's better as a corner.
Right.
But he can still play receiver. But yeah, that's how we got him.
Kayla, when you look at Bentonville defensively, you know, I know you guys will be well prepared. What is it that you guys see from that side of the ball that you guys are going to have to do offensively to come away with that victory on the road?
Just a lot of pass protection. They like sending like a free roamer blitz through the middle, try to confuse the running backs especially because they're going to try to send heat through the middle. And just going out there playing hard, that play 110% every play, and yeah.
Now, how nice is it to have receivers like Taylor and Delamar and Graves and Mattingly and those type of guys that can take pressure off you guys as running backs?
If there's ever play man on Tavion, man, that's bad if they ever play man on him. And Delamar, Jaison, man, just a powerhouse. Every time he catches the ball, he's getting yards after the catch. And Ty and Charlie Graves, those guys are special too.
Now, I know you got another year, but up to date, what's the one play that you remember that sticks out right now in your Bulldog career?
I say it's recently the kickoff return because, you know, we haven't had one in 2 years.
Yep.
That was Christian Setzer against Cabot. So, you know, that's really stuck out to me, and I'm looking to get more.
I come to the football stadium, Chris, Caleb, and I got popcorn, Coke. I'm at that top seat right there in press box area. That ball's kicked off. What type of football player will I see in KJ, number 2? What I'm going to see?
You'll see a guy that's out there trying to have fun, outworking everybody that comes in his way, cheering on his teammates, protecting the quarterback, doing a lot of things that are special to me, and just going out there and do what I do.
Now, I have to ask you 2 more questions. I can't let you go without talking about your running back coach, Coach Cal Cagney. How big is it to be in year 2? And, you know, how special is it to have a guy like that that's so supportive of you?
Good having Coach Cal. Been with him since freshman year. He always told me to always keep pushing no matter what, no matter how things go, how good or bad they go. Always saying don't let one game determine the next, or don't get less humbled if you not having a good game, and don't bring it to the next game.
Now, I know I talked to the senior class. Now, you guys, the junior class, y'all got a pretty good record going. I mean, you guys haven't lost a varsity game as a class. How special is that? You know, and is that any type of pressure with it being so just your junior year?
Not really. Just getting to play with everybody I've been playing with since freshman year, having one more year with them, having a few more games with them this season. Just the brotherhood we have together and knowing each other for so long. So we just know how everybody plays.
When everybody watches the game and they tune in and watch the Bulldogs offensively, either on our broadcast on the Hill Media, or they come out to the stadium, what's that one word after 4 quarters of football you want people to say when they think of the Fayetteville offense of 2024?
Just us going out there being strong as a family, and that fourth quarter when comes, the game's not over yet. We go out there to the final whistle.
Well, I like it. Hey, that's Mr. Kaleb Johnson. Hey, he got one more year, people. One more year to watch Deuce do his thing. We'll be back. It's the Casey Dick Show on the Hill Media TV. Hey, guys, this is Pat Jenkins of On the Hill Media and voice of Fayetteville High Bulldogs Athletics. Make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's On the Hill Media. Make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. As we say, let's get it.
So, Coach Wood, Aaron, man, good to meet you.
And welcome back here live from Harmonville. It's the KC Dick Show, brought to you by C-Max, Lindsay & Associates, and First Choice Protection Systems. And, you know, we always want to talk about Fayetteville. We talk about the athletes, the skill positions, but we never talk about the guys in the trenches. So we thought we'd introduce you to offensive line coach Justin Wood. Coach Wood, what's up?
What's going on? Appreciate you having me.
Coach, the one thing that I've noticed this year, you know, Fayetteville's not known to be a ground and pound, but your offensive line has really given this team an identity that it hadn't had. I mean, talk about you guys up front.
I've got a good group. I got 3 guys back who played a bunch of snaps for us last year, and then a couple other guys who were really good players who were helping in. But they've really bought into the identity we're trying to build, and they get after it.
Having so much experience back, and I think you had like 2 or 3 guys from last year's offensive line, how much can you build on? And who are some of those younger guys that's really kind of – I know we had Drake. He might have played as a sophomore but was hurt. But just talk about the young guys, and who are some of the guys that the people need to look out for?
So our seniors, we've got Julian Stafford, who has moved over to center for us, and then Rylan Lunningham is back at right tackle. And those guys just provide veteran leadership. They do a great job for us. Then Drake moved from right tackle over to left tackle. He's going to anchor us there. He's a phenomenal player. He's going to move anybody who wants to move. Beside him, we've got Matt Heckman, who's just a monster, number 66. Like, if we need to play, those 2 dudes are going to go get it for us. And then Cy Grant's over at the other guard, and he does a good job for us also.
Coach, now one thing that is always said is that your position is a reflection of their coach. You like that ground and pound. Talk about your background and just how much you like to have that responsibility of your offensive line being able to push ahead and be the big part of that offense.
Yeah, so, like, coming up, I played at Springdale, actually. I was on that 2005 state championship team with Coach Malzahn and all those guys. And, like, we were always a big gap scheme team. Like, you knew about Damian, you knew about Mitch, but Matt Klingscales ran for 1,000 yards in a half a season. Like, he played 2 quarters and he ran for over 1,000 yards. So, like, you open up a lot of things if you have the ability to run the football, and our guys have bought into it.
When you talk about this program, you being, surrounded by that that Fab Five, and that state championship run, being a coach on a team that's coming back from a state championship, an undefeated season, how much can you, share that with the younger guys that are just now stepping into varsity playing time?
I think it just gives me some perspective. Like, and I was here in 11 and 12 when we won them. Like, just having the perspective of, hey, it takes a whole different mentality now that you have the target on your back. Like, you win the first one, like, it's hard to do. It's even harder to go try to win another one because now everyone knows. Like, you're not a mystery anymore.
Talk about Coach.
Now, Coach Wood, now you talk about that, the gaps and the schemes and the ground and pound. Just talk about that transition of quarterbacks and the offensive transition that you guys have undergone from, having the Drake Lindsay last year where you were throwing it through the air, a lot of pass protection, and then now you got Odom, you got Battles, you got Johnson, and how has it been transitioning from that pass heavy to now more of a run centric kind of offense?
Right. Well, I mean, high school football, you have different kids every year, so you have to be able to mold and adapt to the skill sets that you have available to you. But Coach Filarvich has come in. He's done a phenomenal job of making the offense fit the kids we have, and the kids have bought in, and they're getting after it.
What makes Fayetteville, Coach Wood, so special, in your opinion?
Speed, 100% speed. Like, you can go places and you can find good offensive line kids. Like, you're going to have good kids who are going to go to battle for you. But getting athletes out in space that can just go fly where you don't have to be right 100% of the time, like, it changes everything.
Now, you guys got a big-time matchup coming up this Friday up with that team up north. What are you guys going to have to do from the offensive side of the ball from watching them defensively on Friday night?
We just have to go play clean. Like, we've got a good group. We're confident. Like, when we play well, we're a hard offense to stop. When we don't play well, we get stopped. Like, we have to go take care of our business and do what we're supposed to do, and we'll be okay.
When people watch the 2024 Fayetteville Bulldog offensive line on Friday nights, either by our stream on the Hill Media or they come to the game, what's that one word, Coach Wood, you want people to say about that Bulldog offensive line when they leave?
Physicality. Like, I want people to physically know that they played against the Fayetteville Bulldogs when we get done with them.
Well, I know they've been knowing so far. Hey, we're going to come back with a little bit more. It's the KC Dick Show on the Hill Media TV. Hey, guys, this is Pat Jenkins of On the Hill Media and voice of Fayetteville High Bulldogs Athletics. Make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's On the Hill Media. Make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. As we say, let's get it. And welcome back here live at Harmon Field. It's the KC Dick Show. We're going to close out. Coach Dick had an obligation, so he was not able to close out our show, but we want to thank Coach for being on the show. Also, we want to thank Reid Slankard, senior linebacker with your Fayetteville Bulldogs, and Kaleb Johnson, the junior running back sensation, for joining us here on the KC Dick Show. Also, Coach Justin Wood, the offensive line coach for the Fayetteville Bulldogs, doing a heck of a job with that group. And, guys, all's left Friday night.
Yes,
Bentonville, Fayetteville. I mean,
always.
What's your take on it?
I mean, this game, Fayetteville, Bentonville, for years, 20 plus years, it's always been one of those. And every time you go up north, you're battling Bentonville, the weather, the refs. You're battling on a lot. So it's going to be back up against the wall. And this Bentonville team has kind of gotten on the road. They've won 2 straight in conference, and they've built that confidence up. And to be ready to challenge Fayetteville. But, Fayetteville, like Coach Wood said, physicality. If Fayetteville go in there and run the ball, and we're going to have a few players that have a little extra ante in this game from just being from Bentonville and transferring down here. So we should see. But I think Fayetteville should be all right.
D, how do you see this thing playing out Friday night?
I think it's all determined. I think from Fayetteville's perspective is health. How do these guys fare with, Odom coming back and him taking that game off with Northside?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really my key to this game is what does the health look like, and if something does happen, are they able to make that adjustment in the game?
Right.
Because I think this is going to be a game that you're going to have some dirty plays, and trust me, word travels fast when you have starters and guys of Odom stature. There's a scouting report about that injury there.
Right.
So I'm just really, really worried about how do guys protect them, making sure they do go out there playing clean and make sure the refs don't become a problem and they shoot themselves in the foot. And again, I think they should come out on top.
I think, it's a piggyback on that. Their JV and sophomore teams just played on Monday, and word travel fast. That's all I have to say. And
it's a rival.
That's already leading up to the Friday big event.
And before I go, unfortunately, we will not be able to do the stream due to some messed up circumstances that we won't discuss. But, hey, we'll be back the following Friday. We will be at the game, though. You on the Hill will be there. Aaron does a great job. We'll try to get you some videos and share it throughout the game. But unfortunately, it's out of our hands, nothing that we had control over. But we won't be on the Friday night broadcast live. We will give updates, and we will be at the game. We'll be back in our entirety here at Harmon Field a week from Friday in that big battle versus the Battle of the Bulldogs, Fayetteville, Springdale. But for now, hey, I want to give a shout-out once again to Reid Slankard, the junior linebacker, Kaleb Johnson, Reid Slankard, the senior linebacker. Caleb's the junior running back. Also, Coach Justin Wood and head coach Casey Dick, my guy Aaron Rags, Demetrius Johnson. It's the KC Dick Show live from On the Hill Media TV. We're at Harmon Field, and you know what I say. Oh, I got to give out my sponsors. I can't leave without saying, brought to you by Lindsay and Associates. They have offices on locations at Fayetteville, Rogers, and their newest location in Bentonville. That's Lindsay and Associates. We bring great neighbors together. They also brought to you by C-Mac Southern Kitchen. They got locations at 2190 MLK Boulevard, 7420 West Sunset Avenue, 909 South Thompson, and off of Highway 412 in Siloam Springs. Get on down there and get all that good food because it's just that good. And lastly, First Choice Protection Systems. And get this, if you are a veteran, guys, they will honor the veteran discount. So make sure you reach out to for all your security needs to our good guys at First Choice Protection Systems. Hey, we got it in and we're getting out, but we'll be back with next week's KC Dick Show. As we say, you've been watching the KC Dick Show live on the Hill Media TV. Let's get it.
Let's get it.